South Africa. Welcome to Afternoon Express. I'm Bonnie Mbuli.
And I'm Danilo Acquisto. So today's show is for all of those entrepreneurs and people who have started small businesses. It is going to be an absolutely inspirational show. Joining us in the loft, we have Bheki Kunene, who started a very cool creative agency in Gugulethu. It's called Mindtricks Media. With only 600 Rand, he started this business in his bedroom.
Amazing.
He now serves clients in over 5 different continents around the world, which is absolutely amazing. And I'm a big entrepreneur and I love entrepreneurship. And it's a great way. It's a great way to start new businesses and create jobs. So if you want to engage with us on this topic, 083-913-3728 is the number you can dial to chat to our guests live on air. We're also on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram.
It's, of course, the next installment of our sustainability series. And today we're speaking to a representative from the Stellenbosch Municipality Waste Management Department. And they'll be sharing about a project where they take waste from landfills, turn it into bricks and build houses. We also speak to Léanne Keet from the Masikhule Childcare Centre, and she'll be chatting to us about the amazing work that they're doing there. So don't go away.
It doesn't end there. The beautiful Jeannie D has got everything to lose in the kitchen today. She's standing by with 2 more of our guests.
Thanks, guys. Hello, South Africa, and welcome to the show. I've got another phenomenal entrepreneur with me today, Refiloe Seseane, and you are the founder of 1828, which is such an incredible initiative. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about what it does?
Thanks, Jeannie. I'm really glad to be here. 1828 is a non-profit organization. I started 6 years ago. We work with girls between the ages of 18 and 28, doing life skills workshops for grade 11s and 12s, mentoring and financial assistance for university.
We cannot wait to hear more on that. And then I've just got to tell you how I can't deal with this kitchen today, because yes, we have Claire Winstanley, but then she's also hiding treats like this. I mean, really, Claire?
I clearly didn't do a good job of hiding those, did I?
No, I've been eating them, and I'm going to be eating them in all the breaks.
So that's a little bit later, some delicious sweet treats for dessert.
But first we're doing load shedding, actually.
Load-shedding-friendly fried rice.
Oh, good.
So something to do when the lights go out. Cook.
My mother's actually going to kill me for saying this, and so is my brother, but my mom phoned me the other day and she said, what about Claire Winstanley for your brother, Jeannie? So, everybody's favourite chef and food stylist. So welcome to the show. It's going to be lots of fun, as usual. Remember, if you want to cook with us, visit our website, which is Afternoon Express, for our recipes and all the shopping lists, and cook with us along for the next hour. Also, considering we're cooking for load shedding today, and I know a lot of you had sent through tweets and Facebook messages that you've missed a couple of shows, if you have, be sure to check out our YouTube channel, Afternoon Express, for all of the back shows that you've missed. But for now, Danilo's on the couch with our first inspiring guest.
Absolutely. So from humble beginnings, after surviving a tough upbringing in the township of Gugulethu, he started a very small creative agency in his own bedroom at the tender age of 21 with only 600 Rand to his name. Now his company has grown to international status with clients across 5 continents. He was recently featured in the Forbes 30 Under 30 Promising African Entrepreneurs and has consistently won business awards both locally and internationally. Joining us on the couch is the young and inspiring CEO of Mindtricks Media, Bheki Kunene. So with an intro like that, I suppose South Africans are really sitting at the edge of their seats, wanting to know, how did he get this whole thing started? So let's begin at the beginning, Bheki. First of all, a very warm welcome to our loft. And where did this whole journey begin with you? Gugulethu, growing up, this is not something that's in the culture of a lot of our young South Africans.
Well, thank you for having me. I've just really started loving the idea of having my own stuff at an early age. I think as any other kid from the township, we love building stuff and just making things out of anything, you know. And the whole idea behind visual communication, I was really strong with visually communicating my ideas as opposed to speaking out. So I'm really silent, but I speak a lot with the visual. And that's how I got introduced to graphic design, and it just evolved into a business, I guess.
So let's take it right back to the beginning in terms of growing up in Gugulethu. I've met a lot of very young creatives from our townships who do feel like there's a lot of pressure from their surroundings to, you know, go follow other paths, other careers that are a lot more streamlined and straightforward. Your growing up was something quite similar in many ways. Your father was in prison at some point. Tell us more about your growing up in Gugs.
Growing up in Gugs, I've grown up like any other guy in the township, and I mean, we've got challenges, and I've had my fair challenges. My dad, of course, spent most of his life in prison. I think I at the age of 21, I'd only seen my dad about once outside of prison.
Sure.
And yeah, he came out of prison, and I think he passed away just a month after that. So I mean, there's major hardships that everyone faces, but I really understood one simple concept, that where I wasn't where I was going to be forever. You know, and I always had that dream and that idea that I could become something. So major things happening in the township like everybody else. But yeah, I survived.
Sure, man. What an incredible story, first of all, can we just say? Because I think growing up in the townships, first of all, isn't easy. And to have your father absent in your life for many of those years and have him in prison and then come out and have that kind of experience, really, I think in some ways can make a youngster feel worthless or not have enough resources to go and tackle the world. You had a different change in your mindset. At what point did that change in your life where you decided, actually, I can be better than this past?
It became a point in my life where everything was just going wrong, from the different challenges which I was faced as a youngster. I mean, I had my fair share of mistakes which I did and was really punished for that. And I just had too many people kind of saying that I've been destined to be nothing and I would forever be worthless. And I think you get to a point in life where you're just sick and tired of everyone telling you that you're worth nothing, and I hit rock bottom. And yeah, after my 4th suicide attempt, I just felt there's nothing I could lose if I tried one more time. And I think that's when the transition took place, where I said, I've had enough. I've had enough.
Sure.
You know.
And having something like a business like this, has that changed the sort of mindset? Do you still go through some dark times now that you are a successful businessman?
Well, I wouldn't consider myself as a successful businessman. I think it's a whole interesting, lovely journey. I am a changed person. I think, I mean, as from an entrepreneurial perspective, you've got to be a completely different person to what I was. So I read a lot. I do a whole lot of different engagements which surround themselves around entrepreneurship. And yeah, I've had to change to become who I wanted to become. So it's really just an interesting journey, I'd say.
I'm incredibly inspired by your story, just by the way. So I'm very excited to find out how you made that transition now into your new business. So let's talk more about Mindtrix Media and the whole, how that got started. You went to go and study. The idea kind of came from your studies, very interested in design, and so Mindtrix Media happened. But you've now got international clients. How did that whole journey start? What does it take to become an entrepreneur like yourself?
Decide, I guess, is the first part of things. I think deciding is the one part, and then obviously just consistent action. I think there's a whole lot of setbacks that happen to entrepreneurs and entrepreneurship as per se, and I just think consistent action is one key element. Devoting oneself to lifelong learning is another element which I found really quite key, because we live in a world where information is out there and it's in a vast reach, and you've just got to keep learning new things and new ideas. And Mindtrix just started with 600 Rand in my bedroom with one client. It was a funny story where I had 3 friends and they all quit on the same day. And basically I was left with my 600 bucks and my one client, and I serviced that one client, and he kept coming back with more clients and more clients. And today, this is where we are, you know, clients in 4 or 5 continents. We work really well with our clients, and looking forward to what the future holds.
So what are some of the struggles that entrepreneurs are facing in South Africa to set up new businesses?
Well, I mean, the obvious big one is lack of capital and financing, but I think there's a whole lot of business ideas that people can actually use bootstrapping, where you kind of use what you've got and build the business with its own revenue. I think there's one with a lot of red tape. Red tape being there's far too many laws about things. You can't do that, can't do that. You've got to pass this to get through to that. And I think, yeah, just finding the right people is one key element that a lot of companies face. And yeah, I think every single business without the right people is bound to fail. So those are probably my 3.
And you've done it well. You've really brought on some cool people as part of your business. Your employees are a big role, they play a big role in your business. It's a big important thing for young entrepreneurs for job creation. How do you go about choosing the right types of people to work with?
Well, I mean, yeah, for one, I've got a really cool, exciting team of guys I work with, and yeah, they just really work really well as a team with us. And I think with choosing people, I always look at people who have a skill and whom are better in what they do than I am. you know, Jamie for one, he's really good with web design. He's better than I am. Zwanele, you know, all the different guys from Pumeza, you know, and Gregor and so forth, they all have some element that I'm not good at, that they're good at.
Yeah.
And I think the right people is really just a number of people that can allow you to manage the systems of the business while they manage their tasks.
Absolutely. So bringing them in to kind of fill in the gaps where maybe the rest of the business has got those sort of gaps.
Pretty
Bheki,
much.
it's an honor to have you with us on our couch today. You're not going anywhere though. Our viewers can ask you any questions that they do want, because your model is one that hopefully we can replicate in our townships and around South Africa as a whole. Small business is the key to changing our economy, I think, moving forward in many ways. But South Africa, after the break, Jeannie gets cooking in the kitchen, and we chat to actress and founder of 1828, Refiloe Seseane. We'll be right back after this.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express on 3. Now, I feel like a little child where your mother tells you you've got to get through main course before you can have desserts. So today we're going to start off in the kitchen cooking a delicious, fragrant chicken and fried rice, especially for load shedding.
Yeah.
Does this mean we don't need electricity to make this?
Well, you'll need gas, and then you can light it up. And if you don't have gas, a braai, you can literally throw a wok onto the braai, or even, you know, the good old skottel braai in the morning, but now in the
Fantastic.
afternoon, in the evening, because you don't have any electricity. So yeah, this is something, pretty much everything can be done stovetop.
Great.
Gas stovetop.
Exactly.
Obviously.
So you've prepared everything. How do we get started?
Okay, so we've marinated our chicken breasts in a little bit of coconut cream. So a little bit of an Asian-inspired dish here.
Nice.
This is just going to really add a whole bunch of flavor to it.
How long do you leave it marinated for?
About half an hour, I think. Yeah,
Marinating
that'll be
for.
good. So, okay, so now comes the breadcrumbs, toasted breadcrumbs, and coconut. So that's coconut just to sort of pair with our coconut cream. A little bit of some spices. This is a Thai 7 blend spice from Woolies. All sorts of delicious spices: ground cumin, ground coriander, that sort of stuff. Great
And
flavor.
you just buy it with it all mixed together already?
All mixed together.
Perfect.
Mixing that up, and then a little bit of chili, because I like some spice.
Go girl.
So that's just chili flakes, and that we're gonna crumb our chicken with. So I'm gonna kind of leave that with you over here. You can take that.
Of course you
Do a little bit of a swapsies over here.
Okay.
And you're literally just gonna take this and crumb that. Take the chicken and crumb it into the
Where do I
crumbs
put
over
them
there.
after I've... Okay, I have washed my hands, by the way. Okay, where do I
Let's
put
make
them?
your life a little bit easier. Put that all together. Just
You
pop
see,
it
I
in
need
there, and then we're
kitchen
gonna put it into
management.
the pan. So the pan we've got nice and hot. You can see it's smoking over there. A little bit of oil. I'm gonna just stretch right over you over here and grab the oil.
Worries.
And that goes into the pan. So we're just gonna fry off those chicken breasts at the same time as frying our fried rice.
Perfect. Okay, I've got a
So-
few little chicken pieces here for you to
Looks
throw
good.
into the pan already.
So it's nice and like it's just a different way to make our chicken that's gonna taste delicious.
Yeah,
So
it's not fun.
some red onions go in there. Just get that going. Let's pump up that heat. You can hear that going there. And then that is gonna go into the other pan. And you know, you wanna sort of soften off the red onions just until they're slightly caramelized and just a bit cooked through. And then in goes our garlic and ginger, just to sort of take that Asian flavor to another level.
Yeah.
That's gonna go in there. And again, like I said, for, you know, a little bit more time, we're gonna cook those down quite a bit. But for the sake of us eating sooner than later, in goes our peas.
Okay.
Those are just fresh peas, some beans. So it's sort of anything that you really have at home and in the fridge. The thing with load shedding is that you can't really prepare. You can try your best to follow the schedules and look for what and when it's going to happen, but otherwise,
Assuming the schedules are even right.
otherwise, take what you have in the fridge, whatever veggies, whatever onions, those sort of things, and kind of put it together with some rice. Because, you know, most people have some sort of rice at home.
Yeah.
And we've just got some cooked rice that you're going to add in. You can, typically with a fried rice, you're going to use a leftover rice.
Yeah.
Or you can just quickly make some up. You don't have to do this in 3 pans like we've got going here. I'm just kind of saving time.
Yeah, it is
So-
smelling sensational already, Claire.
In goes the corn. Should we get some of these going?
Yeah, go for it.
Into the pan, nice
Let's
hot
start.
pan.
Want me to start throwing some
go
in?
for it.
Okay.
So this starts cooking here. Do you want to pass me the rice and the eggs all the
Only
way
got
down
2
there?
cans, Claire.
We
Calm
need another
down.
kitchen helper. Where's Danilo? Thank you kindly. Seriously putting you to a test here.
Yeah.
Okay, so in goes the rice. This we're just going to mix up over here. And the thing with an egg fried rice, you don't have to add the eggs if you don't want to. Okay, you're going to probably stop there. The thing with cooking chicken is you don't really want to overcrowd the pan. So probably half that at a time.
Okay.
But luckily...
Oh, sorry.
No,
I take some out.
No. I think I've kind of envisioned this and I planned some ahead of time. Okay, so...
Could have warned me, Claire.
Okay, so in goes some of our rice. And then the trick to egg fried rice is
That's why you wear the apron.
an apron or a hand towel. So multi-purpose over here in the kitchen. Okay, so egg fried rice. We're going to make a nice little well over here to put the eggs. Can you pass me the eggs over there?
Sure.
Really just crack those. And you don't want to mix the egg into the fried rice because otherwise you end up with this like kind of gross looking, gooey, eggy kind
like
of
scrambled
thing.
egg rice.
Yeah.
That's not good.
That's not our goal. So then you just scramble eggs a little bit over here and you keep scrambling until
Not too scrambly.
No, like scrambly, fully scrambled, till it's nice and dry, like a proper dried egg.
Yeah.
And then only do you mix it into your rice. Because, like I said, you don't want to just coat all the veggies and the rice with the egg. You want it to kind of be speckled throughout your fried rice.
Yes.
So slowly do that, and then do you want to pass me the coconut chicken? I know, I'm like just ordering over here. Orders all day. And that's what our fried chicken looks like.
Today. Okay, so once that's... but I need to turn that over.
Yeah,
and then
we're
you
going to
throw
turn that over. So that's looking good
That's
there.
very eggy now.
Yeah, but we're kind of keeping it in the same place just until it's nice and dry. Dry scramble.
Right. And then we throw in the egg.
And then we throw in the chicken, and that's
the chicken, of course.
Yeah.
What came first, the chicken or the egg? Who knows? All right. Remember to cook with us. All you need to do is visit our website, afternoonexpress.co.za. We've got all of our recipes and, of course, all of our shopping lists and ingredients on the website. And this is absolutely amazing. We're going to carry on with this because the kitchen is mayhem today. And Danilo is on the couch with our next guest.
Judy's having too much fun in that kitchen. I'm not Danilo, I'm Bonnie. She's become well known across the country for her role as Bheki Kunene on Generations, but has since turned her attention to making a difference in young women's lives by developing strategies for their educational and personal development. Joining us on the couch is actress and founder of 1828, Refiloe Seseane. Welcome to the Loft, Refiloe.
Thank you, Bonnie. It's really great to be here.
Awesome. So tell me a little bit about your upbringing before we get into the meat of things.
Sure. I'm from the East Rand, proudly from the East Rand.
Benoni next to Boksburg.
Always. I was actually living in Benoni all my life and went to school in Boksburg, St. Dominic's Convent for 12 years. And people always say, but Refiloe, how could you survive a Catholic school with nuns for 12 years? That's like a prison sentence.
I did as well.
You know what?
Yeah.
I was like, I'm happy because I served my time. And we didn't spend too much time on the East Rand, though, because of all the political violence at the time. So we ended up having to move to my grandmother's farm on the East Rand. So I've got a little bit of a Benoni, East Rand kind of farm, rural upbringing, all mixed in together. But that's me.
Wow. Okay, so you matriculated top of your class. You went on to get a degree in finance and economics, and then you did an honors in economics.
Yeah.
And then you did a certificate in media and marketing strategies and blah, 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 blah. It's so long. But how does all this studying connect you to acting? Because we've come to know you as that feisty character on Generations.
Well, I'd actually have to take a step back and just give you a little bit of a personal story. My parents got divorced when I was 13 years old. And so getting into the television industry was never really my intention. I had to do so just to help out at home and just survive. But I'm always grateful for that because TV, paid for my economics degrees and all my qualifications. I was using my money from Generations and all the other shows to fund my education because I was told, you have to have a plan B in this industry because you never know what could happen. And my plan B has always been education. I think it's a very, very powerful tool for anyone, women especially, to have. So I've always just believed in the value of education.
That's incredible. Okay, so you also quoted saying that you are a proud product of a disadvantaged community.
Indeed.
Is that why you're also driven to work with disadvantaged communities?
Well, I think you always have to make a difference where you're from first. And the easiest thing for me was starting 1828 was actually going back to Vosloorus, where I was from, and approaching some of the school principals there because I already had a relationship with them, having come from that community myself. And also because of TV, people feel that they already have a relationship with you, so it's kind of easy getting a few doors open on the strength of that. So went to 3 schools in Fosterus, where I'm from, and that basically grew across Gauteng, just doing life skills workshops with the girls, grade 11 and 12, mentoring them and getting them financial assistance so that they could study and finish their university degrees and not have to go through what I went through, you know, hustling, trying to pay for fees and that sort of thing.
What does 1828 do in its entirety, and why did you call it 1828?
I'm glad you asked me that, because it's my favorite story to tell.
Oh, yay.
When I turned 28, I look back on the last 10 years of my life, and that whole 10-year reflection of coming out of matric at the age of 18 and being very uncertain about my future, where I'm going to go, what I'm going to study, how am I going to do. I didn't really have anyone mentoring and guiding me through that process. So when I turned 28 and I reflected back on the last 10 years of my life, I felt that I needed to make a difference to another 18-year-old girl and be the support to her that I didn't have at her age. But also, and also not by accident, that's the age group of girls that we focus on. So it's 18 when you're in matric and you're making that very difficult transition of getting out of high school, going into the big wide world, trying to find your first job, trying to finish your degree. So it's a very critical age group, I think, that 18 to 28. So that's why it's called 1828.
And how do you select the girls that you help? And how do you help them?
So a lot of the work that we do is at our high schools, our partner high schools in different communities across Gauteng. What we do is we partner with the life orientation teachers, in particular in grade 11 and 12, because they tell us what sort of topics or issues or challenges the girls are having, and we design projects that are linked to the ALO curriculum. So we won't go in and develop something that the school hasn't asked for. If there's an issue around teen pregnancy or sexual responsibility, would develop a project around that. If there's an issue around litter in the school or kids not being aware of careers in environmentalism, we develop a project around that. If there's issues around career choice and kids not being exposed to mentors, we'd get professional speakers. So it's very targeted interventions that we do for different schools.
What are some of your greatest success stories that you're really proud of?
Oh, I've had quite a few, but I think the biggest joy is just seeing the girls progressing and just doing things with their lives. A lot of our girls are the first in their families to finish matric, let alone even get to university. So when a young girl holds up her degree up on stage and she's qualified because of 1828, that makes me feel like really happy.
And at a personal level, some of your greatest achievements and highlights to date?
I think being on the Afternoon Express definitely has to count as a big highlight. You know you've done something right when you get an invitation to sit with Bonnie in the afternoon. But yeah, again, it's just 1828, and the girls that we've worked with got an offer from Alan Gray Orbis Foundation, which is something that I'm particularly proud of, because they do a lot of work in terms of entrepreneurship development and really funding the education of young people through an entrepreneurship program. And it really resonates with what I was doing at 1828 already, but their specific focus on grooming future entrepreneurs for Southern Africa and this region is something that really speaks to me. So I'm quite happy to be there as the Foundation Relations Manager.
Wow, Refiloe, thank you so much. You're doing incredible work. All the best.
Thanks very much, Bonnie.
Wonderful. After the break, it's our Go Green Sustainability series. Remember, if you have any questions for our guests, then don't hesitate to call us on 083 913 3728. Tweet us at Afternoon Chat using the hashtag Afternoon Express, or comment on our Facebook page. We'll be right back.
Willies and I collaborating to raise 100 million rand through the My School program. Are you with us?
Welcome back to Afternoon Express South Africa. What an inspiring show we are having here today. And it's time for us to announce the winner of last week's Go Green SMS competition. The winner is Surrender Philander from Cape Town. Congratulations, that 1,000 Rand Woolies gift card is all yours. Now today we are joined by Salim Haider of the Stellenbosch Municipality Solid Waste Management Department to discuss one of the main issues we face in our country, and that of waste management. The Stellenbosch Municipality is taking big strides to combat the issue of existing waste in landfills in an innovative and pretty creative way. So Salim, very warm welcome to Afternoon Express.
Thank you, Daniela. Thanks for having me here.
It's an absolute pleasure, man. So Salim, a few weeks ago in this segment, we were speaking a bit about landfills, and it was brought up that we're actually in a crisis stage in our country when it comes to our landfills. What exactly is a landfill, and how did we get ourselves to this point?
When the municipal vehicle comes around to collect either your black bag or your wheelie bin, your problem disappears.
Yes.
That's when my problem starts.
Okay.
Because that's really where the waste goes to. It's actually an open area that needs to be excavated. It needs to be lined. And you need to environmentally take care of the waste material that's brought to the site. It needs to then be compacted, needs to be covered, and you need to ensure, because you've actually now created a bioreactor. And what is quite important is that you've, like a human body, when you consume food, you're going to result in solid waste going in, or solid bodies going in, and you're going to lead to waste products, which would either be in the form of a liquid or a gas.
Number 2 or number 1?
Number 2 or number 1. Depends on whether you had too much beans or not. Similarly, a landfill actually also gives off liquids and gases. And it's these liquids and gases that needs to be environmentally controlled. The liquid we call leachate. And if you've left your black bag in your kitchen for too long and you forgot about it, and you actually go and pick it up, you'd find a brown liquid at the bottom. That typically is leachate. So it's any liquid that would be inherently part of the material, or in the case of a landfill, any rain that would actually percolate through the waste, that would create this leachate. Now this leachate is actually quite a big contaminant should it enter the groundwater. So that needs to be protected. And for that reason, you've got to put liners in place to actually capture the leachate and actually have it run off, where it can either be treated on site through very similar to a wastewater treatment works, or you can actually pump it through to wastewater treatment.
So it's incredibly expensive. It's a massive project.
It is.
Can you just please paint a picture for us on how critical we are at the moment with our landfills?
Our landfill airspace is fast running out, particularly if you look at certain areas that's sort of landlocked. If you take the Western Cape, for example, you've got mountains on the one side, you've got a sea on the other side. And you need to find suitable space within which to locate this landfill. It's got to meet various environmental criteria. And it needs to be big enough and large enough to at least last for a number of years, because it's quite an expensive operation to put in place. Added to that is the public sort of resistance to having it near them, the NIMBY syndrome, not in my backyard. And that makes it so much more difficult to actually locate and find landfills, which is currently a cheap way of disposing of your waste, but we've got to start looking at alternative mechanisms.
And this is what you guys are doing. You guys are doing that particularly. So I'm really excited to talk about this product that you brought with us today. It was in partnership with Use It. A very cool group of youngsters came together and obviously pitched an idea to you. But talk us through what we have here today and how that whole collaboration happened.
Okay, maybe just a correction. I don't think they're that young.
Well, you know,
but the 3 gentlemen that I need to acknowledge from Use It, obviously, is Chris White, who's a sort of MD of the group. Then, of course, we've got Didier de Hotman and Tim Bettany. That's actually, without them, I wouldn't be here today to explain what they've put together. Use It won a tender that Stellenbosch Municipality has put out, because we found a lot of clay material and there's a lot of builder's rubble that's out there, which would otherwise just go into your landfill and fill it up unnecessarily. And they've actually demonstrated how you could actually create building blocks, housing blocks out of it, by just compressing a mixture of your clay material and your crushed builder's rubble to create these building blocks, which is actually the equivalent of 2.5 bricks. And I'd like you to try and just pick it up.
Can I try?
If you can. Yep.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay, so it is a solid piece of material.
It's a solid piece of material, but
Luckily
it's
I go to the gym. All right.
and it's of high quality.
Yes.
So it's thermally extremely efficient, because it keeps the houses cooler in summer, hotter in winter. When they did go and build a house or a church for Habitat for Humanity in Sudan, one of the criteria was, is it bulletproof? They said, we don't know. So someone had to stand there with a machine gun and fire into it. And these things are bulletproof.
That is a job I'd accept any day, but yeah. And it managed to do it. It passed
managed
the test.
to do that, yes. It did
and
pass the test.
cost-wise?
Cost-wise, it's about 30 to 40% cheaper than your conventional bricks, because you don't have to bake it. It's just compressed material. It's 11 MPa, so your normal brick you need at about 7 MPa to construct with. This is 11, so it's so much more stronger.
Sure.
And so what you get is actually superior low-cost housing.
Wow.
And with government sort of pressure to deliver on housing, here's a great alternative. So as long as you've got builder's rubble and you've got sort of clay material close by, you can actually go all the way to try and manufacture these.
Salim, this is amazing. Thank you so much for bringing this through to us.
And then, of course, that he ain't heavy, he's the brother. That's just the sort of test block that's there, so that when a sample is actually when the material is sort of blended, you've got to test, you can actually test it on site to see whether it meets the quality standards, quality criteria. And those are the test blocks that they would test. So before even sending it to the lab, they would have a good idea whether it actually meets this sort of quality criteria.
Well, when I'm building my house, definitely some new materials for me to use. So Salim, thank you so much for joining us on Afternoon Express. What this means for you as South Africans is that you can start your own businesses. There are lots of opportunities in innovation. Now, for more information, you can also make a difference and go to afternoonexpress.co.za. Now, make sure you enter this week's Go Green SMS competition to stand a chance to win another 1,000 Rand Woolies gift card. This week's question is, what are compressed earth blocks made of? Is it A, solid waste, B, cement, or C, old vegetables? SMS the keyword Go Green, your name, city, and answer A, B, or C to 33728. Also, you will go into the draw to win that ultimate grand prize. Now, take a look at this. The Afternoon Express team is going green. Join us every Tuesday at 4 p.m. until September as we bring you the most innovative trends in sustainable fashion, food, decor and design, as well as handy tips to help you reduce your carbon footprint.
Answer our Go Green question every Tuesday and stand a chance to win a 1,000 Rand Woolies gift card every week.
Plus, simply by entering, you also go into the big draw for the ultimate grand prize worth over R500,000.
Including a dream sustainable kitchen makeover from Cordev, fitted with Bosch appliances with 300,000 Rand. Also, up to 250,000 Rand worth of home upgrades so you can live off the grid. Plus, food and homeware from Woolworths valued at 75,000 Rand. And a 25,000 Rand towards a school of your choice with My School.
So, go big, go green with Afternoon Express every Tuesday at 4 p.m. to win these amazing prizes.
Now, the name Masikhule means let us grow in isiXhosa. And at the Masikhule Centre in the Outer Cape Town area, it is not only the children who are growing and developing, but the adults too. Here, founder Léanne, Keet and her team make a positive contribution to the eradication of poverty through job creation, job placement and business management programs. Welcome to the Loft, Léanne.
Thank you, Jeannie.
What inspired you to start Masikhule 10 years ago?
You know, Jeannie, just listening to some of the guests before me, there's no lack of opportunity in South Africa to do something. You need to just know what it is that you can do, what skills you have. And what inspires me are women in communities. I really am interested in early child development and education, and it was just really a marriage of those two things. And I think if you think of South Africa, one's often bogged down by seeing things as problems and obstacles instead of seeing them as opportunities.
Exactly.
And I think that is where what inspires me is the opportunities to add value, to bring about change, to add something to the communities. I think we are expected to do that.
Of course. Now, I know the answer might seem obvious, but why is early childhood development so important?
Children's brains are like sponges from before birth, and we have this golden opportunity to make the best start in someone's life from early on. And if one misses that gap in a child's life, it's really, really difficult for them to catch up. And so that is why those early days, from conception, and especially the first 6 years of a child's life, are the most important.
So what kind of activities would they do on any given day?
Well, the creches that we work with in the townships offer a variety of activities. We really want the children to play. We don't want them to be sitting back and just listening and have rote learning.
Yeah,
they
kids aren't meant to do that.
Exactly. They're meant to be playing. They're meant to be painting, pasting, threading, making, creating, using their imagination, and being children, having fun. And you learn through having fun.
And how do the children, or how have the children benefited thus far?
Through our program, we're reaching about 2,000 children a year. Our mission is that every child who attends a creche in our area is being nurtured and looked after and educated by someone who's been trained through our program. And those benefits to those children are huge. It just means that they're being nurtured and cared for by someone who's trained, who understands the importance of early child development, who's actually making sure there's a varied program in place every day, that the children are excited to go to school.
So it's not only the children that are benefiting, but also the women from the community as well. How do they benefit from this program?
Our program is actually geared to the women, because we feel if we're working with the women, working with the children, we can actually reach far more. So these are women in the township who have no education, or very little education, no formal post-school training, and you see them grow as women in stature, in confidence, in self-esteem, where they become valued members of their community, where they're role models. That is what is inspiring, and that is where they're benefiting.
Well, we actually have a little clip of one of the women who have benefited from your program. Let's have a look.
I learned from Masikhule how to use themes in the classroom that helps them to develop fine motor. At this stage, children learn through play. That's what Masikhule taught me.
That's so amazing. It's such a rewarding program. I mean, for you to be able to see these women and see these children on a daily basis, it must feel tremendously rewarding.
It's wonderful. And Pumi is a wonderful advocate for what we do. And she inspires the women in her community because they look up to her and see what is possible.
What can your average person do, I suppose, to contribute to this idea and this program, to assist and try and build and help?
I think it starts right from the basics of becoming aware of why education is so important, and then to find an organization where there's Masikhule to support. And there are always ways and means of doing something, being involved in projects, fundraising. There's always ways and means of becoming involved.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for such beautiful work that you do.
Thank
you.
you.
It really is wonderful.
Thank you, Jeannie.
Thank you so much for coming through to The Loft. Now, if you'd like to find out more about Léanne and her work, or you'd like to make a donation, find all of that information on our website, afternoonexpress.co.za. After the break, we make that dessert in the kitchen. It's driving me crazy. It's so good. Don't go away. We'll be right back after this.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express here on SABC3. Now, just a reminder to go out and get your 50 Rand off South Africa's #1 foundation just by purchasing Revlon Color Stay Foundation now at any leading retail and pharmacy stores nationwide. Take a selfie with the product and you and your +1, your bestie or your lover, could win a 24 hours experience in Bonang's life, hanging here on set, enjoying the city life by dining at one of her favorite restaurants, staying at her favorite hotel and turning love on, whether you're in love or looking for love. So just take a pic of you and your Revlon Color Stay Foundation and tweet at Afternoon Chat, #Foundation Fridays, #LoveIsOn, or post it on our Facebook page, Afternoon Express. This amazing prize, valued at 25,000 Rand, includes an all-expenses paid trip to Cape Town for two, dinner at an A-list restaurant, plus a 10,000 Rand shopping spree. So get tweeting now, just like these viewers have already done. And don't forget the hashtags, #Foundation Fridays, #LoveIsOn, #Genie Dessert.
So we've all heard the saying, summer bodies are made in winter. Well, take everything you know about that and throw it away because it's absolutely wasted on the show today. We've got the fabulous Lexi Bird from Mamere in our loft, who's basically going to destroy my diet with the most incredible dessert I've ever seen. Explain what you've just done here, because I'm
today
actually
we
sweating.
are basically going to make a very simple marshmallow mixture. We're going to throw it into the brownie pan, and then we're going to chuck in chuckles, speckled eggs, Oreo biscuits, and just make it more.
I don't know
it's
if
like
it's
this one
healthy.
song
That-
to winter.
I
You
know,
can
but
start
I
the
don't know
diet
if it's a good
tomorrow.
idea that I would know how to make this.
It'll
because
make
it'll
you
be made
feel
all the
good,
time.
and that's all that's important.
Okay, good.
So-
Let's learn.
Right, what I've got on the stove over here is our gelatine. So when you start with gelatine, you're going to want to sprinkle it into a shallow dish, put your cold water over it and let it bloom. So this is what bloom gelatine looks like. You can
That
see
looks
it's
like
gone
blooming
solid.
good gelatine.
So once it's bloomed, it goes into a glass bowl over a pot of boiling water. Once the boiling water is at a rolling boil, I turn it off and I've melted it to a complete liquid. So once your gelatine is liquid, you throw in the caster sugar.
And of course, the Salati caster sugar dissolves easier, so that's why.
Exactly.
you see that one there.
Yeah, the caster sugar just makes life much easier. So once it is completely dissolved, we're going to rush this forward a little bit. You'll know it's dissolved when it's totally clear.
Great.
So that's on the stove over there. In our beater, I'm going to ask you to pour in our glucose while I pour in our honey.
Okay.
Just straight in. And then we're going to put in some vanilla essence. You are welcome to put in rose essence or any other
The whole
essence
thing.
that you feel like. Just chuck it right in. And I'm going to put a little pinch of salt just to take the edge of the sweetness.
Okay, otherwise would it be too sweet?
Yeah.
And what kind of marshmallow is this going to be? Because I've
This
been
is
staring
gonna
at those
be-
all day. And are they going to be those chewy?
It's going to be a melty, soft.
Oh.
Think like it's almost like a marshmallow across a mousse.
Oh, amazing.
So I'm turning the beater on. We don't have to wait for anything magical to happen. All we're going to do is in a thin stream, pour our sugar and
Is
gelatin
there a lot of room
mixture
for
in.
error, or is this quite a simple
This
recipe?
is such a simple recipe. There are no sugar thermometers involved. There's no waiting for anything to happen. You just throw it all into the bowl, turn it on high, and you're going to leave this to beat until it's doubled in volume. So that'll take quite quick. In the meantime, I've lined a brownie pan. What you can do is you can either put some icing sugar at the bottom,
Or crushed Oreos.
yes, or you can split the icing sugar with cocoa powder as well. So
I might crush a few Oreos in here.
you can see
Bit of
over here the
sensation.
marshmallows whipped up really, really quickly. I mean, how easy was that in
Yeah.
a heartbeat?
I'm making my fantasy sweet here. Oreos,
Exactly.
marshmallows, every sweet on the planet. Wow.
While you're doing that, we're going to pour this straight over your...
Oh, look how
Crushed
gorgeously that
Oreos.
just folds.
Yes, and what's so great, I'm going to leave half of this in here. What we're going to do is push these Oreos in. You're
I love
welcome
you.
to open your pantry and throw in whatever you have. So it doesn't have to be chocolate, it doesn't have to be biscuits, you can use jelly sweets. The sky
Everything.
really is the limit. You can go to town.
Turkish delight would be amazing
Yes.
in this.
And food coloring as well into the marshmallows. So you could do maybe 2 different colors and
little
like
pink
swirl
one.
them all together.
Basically,
exciting.
food fantasies are coming alive
Deluxe.
on Afternoon Express this afternoon. Remember, this exact recipe is on our website, afternoonexpress.co.za. And now we can just decorate.
You can. What I like to do is push a couple of chocolate bits right down into the marshmallows. So when you cut it, you get a lovely surprise.
Oh, we are going to be friends forever.
Fresh raspberries as well is the business.
Oh, my
It
goodness.
is absolutely divine.
And you make this, I mean, this is so quick, so you can just make this for a dinner party before your friends come around and be the most popular human on
You
the planet.
can. If you chuck it in the fridge, it literally will set in about half an hour. So by the time you've finished eating, you can whip this out and people will think you are an absolute goddess. But yeah,
Right
it's one
now,
of my
I
favorites.
think you are an absolute goddess.
Thank you. And you're busy eating all of my decorations.
I mean, this is amazing. We're going to be back after this commercial break, and I might look double the size. We'll be right back.
Another delicious recipe brought to you by Salati Sugar. Always good, always sweet.
Great to have you back with us on Afternoon Express on 3. We're on the couch with Bheki and Refiloe. Now, Refiloe and Bheki, we've received some amazing feedback from the audience saying that they're so inspired. But one of the things that keep coming up is that they want to understand what 1828 actually does.
Okay.
Briefly,
all right.
please explain.
It's with pleasure. It's a non-profit organization. We've got 3 main focus areas. The first is life skills workshops for girls in grade 11 and grade 12 at high schools in disadvantaged communities. The second focus area is a mentorship program called Big Sister, where we match our girls to professional women in different industries for mentoring and additional support. And this is because a lot of our girls don't have academic role models or mentors in their homes and communities.
Right.
Then the third and final focus area is financial assistance for girls to complete undergraduate studies in any degree of any choice in their universities.
Oh, wow.
But that bursary isn't currently open now. We always put it up on our Facebook and our Twitter when we accept applications for the bursaries.
Right. Okay. Thank you so much for clarifying that.
Sure.
And also, further details will be on our website, afternoonexpress.co.za, for more information. So check it
Absolutely.
out.
So we do have a caller on the line right now, Gugu, who wants to chat to the boy from Gugu. Welcome to Afternoon Express.
Hey, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you, and yourself?
I'm good, thanks. Bheki, I am completely inspired by your story. I mean, I'm an entrepreneur myself, and I'm struggling to get funding because most companies want to know what you've done prior and what experience do you have. Like, that's asking a fresh graduate for experience. So what's your advice on that? And furthermore, I want to know if you have any mentorship programs, because I'd like to sign myself up. Like what Refiloe is saying, that mentorship is the ultimate.
Hi, Gugu. I think there's a whole lot of different platforms out there, like one being, you know, you've got your online platforms such as crowdfunding and a few other different similar ideas revolving around that, where you've got various people that chip in the money and they make up the money that you need to run the business. So that's just one of them. But if you Google that kind of source or crowdfunding type models, there's quite a lot of those out there. Secondly, I think attending these various business networks is also quite a nice way of getting that financed, because you meet some interesting people, and along the way, when you share ideas with people with great ideas, you're always bound to kind of get the assistance you need along the way.
Another question I'd wanted to ask you, Refiloe, is that you're completely non-funded. How do you rally support around your organization?
Well, it's not entirely true to say that we're non-funded.
Oh, yeah?
A lot of our financial assistance is actually done by corporates as well as private individuals.
Right.
But in terms of the operational and the running costs, I cross-subsidize that through my television work and my stage and MC work.
Cool. And Bheki, another final question, just for you, for the youth of South Africa who are going through something very similar. You know, you suffered with attempting suicide a couple of times. You went through some real dark times, not having a father around. You really have experienced the lowest of lows, but you've come out on top. What are your words of inspiration and advice to young people in South Africa who are struggling to find motivation?
First and foremost, I believe the mind is probably the most important thing that we all ever have. And if you can actually imagine something and visualize it with a good combination of consistent effort to bring that idea into reality, anything can be done. I mean, I've gone from losing everything to being where I am today simply because I believed in an idea and just being very consistent with the actual effort.
Amazing.
And yeah, I think anything's possible should you really believe in it, you know. And you'll meet angels along the way that really just push you out.
People have loved your story. When I tweeted it out, it got so much interaction. So you really are well supported, both of you, Refiloe and so much Bheki.
So inspiring.
Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you.
Right now we join Jeannie to tell us more about how you can win on Afternoon Express.
Thanks, Danilo. Now, don't forget to enter this week's Go Green SMS competition to stand a chance to win a 1,000 Rand Woolies gift card. This week's question is, what are compressed earth blocks made of? Is it A, solid waste, B, cement, D, old vegetables? SMS the keyword Go Green, your name, city and answer A, B or C to 33728, and you also will go into the draw to win the ultimate grand prize. Oh my goodness, you're going to love the meal that I have in store for you today.
Wow.
Thank you so much to our fabulous guests. I've been slaving away all afternoon.
Can I just give you a high five? You guys, you've done a phenomenal job in this kitchen. I really, really am so impressed.
How incredible does this
I
look?
know, that dessert looks insane. I don't know where to begin.
Refiloe, can I have your plate?
During any commercial break ever that we've ever had, Bonnie has never walked into the kitchen. In fact, she detests that place more than anything. Today, she didn't get out of there. So, yes, you can definitely have some of my marshmallow.
But once again, to our guests, thank you so much for joining us. Your stories are so inspiring. We wish you all the best in your future endeavors.
Thank you so much for visiting us.
Jeannie, you were mentioning that you like to go for dessert before mains. Are you going to have dessert before mains?
Oh, no, mains and then
Mains
dessert.
first. Okay, cool.
It's been a wonderful day. I deserve it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much to all of you viewers for joining us today. We're going to be back in the loft tomorrow between 4 and 5. Until then, afternoon and happy eating. Ciao.
Tomorrow, Afternoon Express will be off air due to live cricket, but we'll return to your screens on Thursday with more exciting fashion and design inspiration. Renowned artist Lionel Smith shows us some of his latest creations, and we chat to former Miss South Africa, Vanessa Carrera.
Another feel-good production.